from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning to our viewers. Welcome to another episode of Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is such a pleasure to be alive. It's a pleasure to be able to get up again to go and be productive. Today, I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and it's always a pleasure being here in front of you, bringing to you all the conversations that we have for you in store this morning. But before we continue, I want to head over to news in 90 seconds. And here's what's making news in 90 seconds for Thursday, February 19th, 2026. The Tobago Unified Calypsonians organization yesterday released their official results, and Marshall Montano is the 2026 Road March champion with his song Encore, which played 171 times. This is his 12th win, breaking Lord Kitchener's record for most titles. Voices Can't Behave took second place with 127 plays, while Bungie's Roadman came in third with 97 plays. Kyria Job captured the 2026 Windward Afro Queen title alongside additional titles of Best Gong Portrayal, People's Choice, and Best Gong, making her the standout winner of the competition. Janea Francis's performance won her second place. Shanique John secured third place, while Shanicia Sargent placed fourth. Nicole Thomas-Clark, the reigning Windward Calypso monarch, defended her crown with a formidable performance, securing her second consecutive win as the 2026 Windward Calypso monarch with her hard-hitting social commentary Sacrifice. Condolences continue to pour in as investigations progress into last weekend's tragic head-on collision that claimed the life of 29-year-old motorcyclist Shaquille Anthony Shade in Canaan. His sudden passing has sent shockwaves through the Mason Hall and the sporting community. Tobago's East Coast residents and businesses are this week once again facing the stench of a severe sargassum surge, reportedly up to 4 feet in some seafront areas, disrupting livelihoods, threatening marine life, and adversely disrupting daily economic activities. Efforts are underway to contact the Works Department to explore possible solutions. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television at 6:30 p.m. I want to thank you so much for tuning in this morning to listening to our news in 90 seconds and for our continued show going forward this morning. Up next, we want to head right over to our birthdays. This morning, we have two celebrants on the lineup. First up, we have Roger Marcel. Good morning to you. Good morning and happy birthday from us here at the Tobago Updates family. We want to wish you a bright and prosperous year ahead. We want to wish you a great day. And I know you would be spending it with your family and loved ones. Up next, we have Amelia Guillaume. We want to wish you a happy birthday. We know that today would be bright, just as this lovely yellow on the screen in the picture here this morning. We hope that this year is filled with all of your goals coming through. We want to wish you a bright and splendid day, and it's spent with those who cherish and appreciate you. Now, viewers, we want to go right into the rundown. This morning, we have Crystal Celestine. She's a financial coach, and the topic this morning is why hardworking people still feel broke. That's a two-part segment, and right after that, we're going to be having an interview with Terrence Baines. He's the event host of Laugh and Live. Now, viewers, I want to remind you before we go to the break, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live, and we'll be right back.
Every night, our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you. with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Every night and day, I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. I want to look it right here. I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. Party with you. When the rhythm pumping up, it's everybody jumping up. We sweating, and when the sun is blazing, it's party like we crazy.
Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before your Ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Viewers, welcome back in studio with us. We have Crystal Celestine, financial coach, and she's here to talk to us this morning about why hardworking people still feel broke. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Now, Crystal, we often hear people say, I work hard, but I still feel broke. Why is that such a common experience today?
Listen, I think one of the most confusing things as an adult is the fact that we work hard and we still do not know where our money is going. One of the things we were told growing up was go to school, get your subjects, get a good job, and life will be fine. But the reality of that is we are seeing it everywhere. That is not necessarily the truth. So what I've found is that it is not an income problem, but it's being able to manage what you have, because money coming in doesn't necessarily mean money staying in, and that's what we have a lot of challenges with as adults. We haven't been taught to manage the money that we have coming in, right? So one of the first things that when I meet with my clients, we talk about financial goals. And yes, we know what we want to do with our money. We know we have bills to pay, we have the children to see about, we have to buy groceries, but what do we aspire to financially? And a lot of people haven't sat down and had the time to really sit down and think, this is what I want. And then what are the structures that I need to put in place to be able to get them? Because one of the biggest issues as well is that as adults, we have a lot of things that we call leakages. Leakages are those little swipes. So you leave home just to go and get some gas, but you pass some doubles. You went to the grocery to pick up 2 items. Why is the trolley full after your visit at the grocery? So we call those leakages. And again, we have not really sat down and planned, this is what I want my money to do. So the leakages creep in and we find money is dwindling away and we can't account for it. So those are some of the things I've realized when I've sat and spoke to my clients.
No, Ms. Celestine, you said something very interesting. You said that most adults don't plan what they want, what their financial goals are.
Yeah.
But a lot of adults might think that they are planning what their financial goals are, whether it is they say they want to buy a house, they want to have a retirement plan, they want to have certain insurances, or even they want to aspire to making a certain salary.
Right.
They consider these things financial goals. Is that, are they mistaken in thinking those are financial goals?
No, I think those are financial goals, but then it's one thing to have the goals. The next thing I would have said is what systems are we putting in place to get to those goals, and that's where we fall short. For example, I would have sat with a few clients at the beginning of the year. Some of the things that they want to do, they want to travel with their family, some persons want to renovate their house, etc. And knowing that, we have to take into consideration the reality of the person and then decide, okay, if we want to travel this year with the family, then maybe we need to have a travel savings account, right? So that we put a little bit of funds in it every month so that when we get to that travel date, we are in a better position to be able to do that, to meet our goals. So that's a saving strategy that I give my clients at the beginning of the year. You need to have a bucket for everything that you're trying to save towards. So travel, renovation, have different accounts, and you be intentional about labeling those accounts, because it's going to be very difficult if you go into Penny Savers. Let's say you have your expense account and you are short $200. Which card will you not take to make up that $200? Your travel account or your renovation account? Because it's going to be very hard. You're going to see that money accumulating and be like, am I really going to use $200 something just to make up? You would rather put down the items than use from those buckets. So a saving strategy or a saving system has to be in place if you have to meet your financial goals.
Now we're talking about systems and structures, but I think also some of the reasons why these things happen is because of impulse control. A lot of individuals are very impulsive in terms of buying. You get a raise and you automatically think, okay, I need to go and treat myself nice, or I need to splurge on this vacation. What are some of the practical systems that you would recommend to some of your clients or persons if they realize they have an impulse control problem when it comes to spending their money and saving?
Listen, nothing is wrong with having nice things. Nothing is wrong for wanting nice things. But again, do you have an account in place to deal with that? So, for example, I am an avid Shein. Yes, I like Shein. I am the toughest of everything I want is from Shein. Right? But, so I have an account that I would use to shop with. When that account is over, I'm like, okay, Crystal, we're not doing this anymore. Or if I realize that there's something that I want, I'm going to be like, okay, Crystal, how can we make this $2,000? What can I sell? What can I offer? What service can I provide? What costs can I put out there so I can earn some money so I can be able to do the things that I want? And that leads us to another conversation, having multiple streams of income, because think about it. We get paid a salary, right? Your salary cannot fund your lifestyle. A paycheck is 12 paychecks for the entire year of 2026. How can I live my best Shein life with 12 paychecks for the entire year? So multiple streams of income. And some persons say, but ma'am, I have children, I have a family, I have so much things going on, I cannot afford the time to have another stream of income, and that's not necessarily correct. So one of the things I encourage my clients to do is, what are you passionate about? What are you already doing that you can monetize? What problem can you solve? We have a lot of problems in Tobago. We have a lot of gaps in Tobago. How can you contribute to solving problems and have persons pay you to do that? And you will see that even with the time that you have, you can now build out an entire stream of income. I think what some people look at is they want to be seeing big earnings very quick. They want to see if they have a business or another stream, it must be massive, it must be. But let me tell you, drip, this fuller bucket, right? So for example, if I have a $200 coming in from a job, I can use that one to either put into a fund that I'm already saving towards, or take care of a bill, maybe my cable bill or some kind of bill that I have, and I did not use my salary to do that because I have other things coming in. So you can use what you're already doing. So I had this client who she has girls, so she will plait hair. So I'm like, so why don't you offer your services to your community? And when I say community, I mean your church, your gym, places that you're already involved in, right? You advertise your services, and she did, and she had persons from her church, from her neighborhood coming over, and she was plaiting here on a Saturday and Sunday, and that brought in extra income, and she was able to do a lot more during the week for her family because of that extra income. So there are so many things that you can do to, you know, ensure that you are meeting your financial goals even if you have limited time.
Now, what's the difference between working hard and building wealth?
Working hard. I think working hard is, as the name says, you are basically exchanging your time for money, right? So the more jobs you do, it will take a lot more time, and you know if it's taking your time, it's draining you, etc. Nothing is wrong with working hard, because the Bible does talk about working hard. I'm not against it. Building wealth, I would say, is when you do accumulate the funds, you now put the funds in places where you are having a better quality, because wealth is different for different people. Some persons might think wealth means having a bank account full of millions of dollars. Wealth for some persons might just be ease and comfort. You know, you could just make a purchase without even thinking about the price, etc. So your definition of wealth is different, but wealth would be putting, again, systems in place, using your money to be able to just achieve the things financially that you see fit.
No, you have your financial coach, and he started an initiative or a course earlier this year. Just tell us what the course is about, please.
All right. So the Money Makeover program, I started that in January. You know, it's a new year. People want new year, new things, you know. So it just seemed fit to just have a session where our space where persons can come and be vulnerable about their reality. Because we don't really have spaces to talk about money, ask questions, admit mistakes, and try to build, right? So that the Money Makeover was a space that I created for my clients to be able to come. What do you want to do this year? Let's talk at the end of December 2026. What do you want your story to be? Do you want to say I've traveled? Do you want to say yes, I fixed the kitchen? Yes, I bought that new refrigerator. What do you want at the end of this year? So we started off the first week. So it's a 4-week program. The first week we dealt with financial goals, and we also dealt with money conditioning, because believe it or not, how you were exposed to money as a child would impact how you manage money as an adult. So for example, if you grew up and money was always scarce, you know, if you come into money as adulthood, you will treat the money as, you know, I'm not going to take any risk. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to, you know, make sure I always have money, you know, in hand. So you're not going to be risk adverse. Investment's not going to be your thing. If you grew up in an environment where money was weaponized as a child, when you grow up, you know, you're going to deal with money in such a way like that. So we spend the first week of the Money Makeover just dealing with conditioning and getting to a healthy money mindset. And then we talk about financial goals. The second week, we talk about saving systems, investment systems, and emergency fund, building your emergency funds. The third week, we deal with multiple streams of income. So I actually have my clients sit down and we talk about their passions and what problems they see in society, and then we look for ways that they can monetize that. And the last week, we deal with retirement planning and managing debts. So in January, we culminated. It was such a good program. I had 20 participants, and trust me, the reviews were amazing.
And when is the next cohort?
Right. So I'm trying to start a cohort the first Monday in March. So you should be seeing ads on social media where that is concerned, probably within the next week or so.
And for your social media handles for person to get in touch
so
with you.
So it's Crystal, yeah. So it's Crystal Celestine. Just search for my name on Facebook, on Instagram. And my phone number will be there. I have a lot of ads on my page, so you will see my phone number so you can get into contact with me.
So something else persons might, what is there an age limit to your program?
Nope. Nope. Even persons who have retired have benefited from my program, because let me tell you something, retirement is another big topic. I don't know if you want to talk about that now, but
you can talk about it.
Okay. When we plan for retirement, a lot of people just think they need to have a retirement savings depletes. One of the things that we need to do is to have a retirement system, and I use that word system a lot because it is so important. So you need to have retirement reoccurring income. A lot of people don't think about putting reoccurring income in place because, as I said, savings deplete. Persons that have retirement savings, what happens? Christmas will come up, you use some to paint the house. The roof might need a little fixing. You want to go on a little cruise. Save retirement savings, deplete. But if you have reoccurring income into your retirement, as well as, and this is something that I've just, well, not just discovered, but I'm trying to do it for myself. I'm trying to earn a retirement degree. A degree that I can use in retirement to make me valuable and productive. Because even after, yes, I leave the workforce, I don't just want to garden. I still want to be valuable. People like me always want to be doing something. And it doesn't mean I have to be doing something all the time. But when I choose to, I still want to be able to contribute and be valuable to my community. So a retirement degree is something I'm adding to my retirement system.
Okay.
Now, seeing as you're on the topic of retirement, a lot of people think that their retirement savings usually would cushion them for the rest of their life until
yes, God calls them home. Yeah,
and it's difficult at times to also ensure that within society, because there is a cutoff for the age of how long you can work. What are some of the ideas that you think that you could give to some of the viewers who are currently in retirement, who are realizing that their savings are depleting, some of the things that they can do to get back? I know you already mentioned get a business and start providing a service to your community, but what are some of the other things persons who are approaching retirement can start to put in place from now?
Right. So I would say gain as many skills as you possibly can. There are lots of free community courses. Find yourself in them. Learn skills, and that is how you'll be able to become valuable. That is how you'll be able to have services to provide. Flower making, bag making, sewing, curtain. These are things that people use every single day. So if you have those skills up your sleeve, you definitely can use them and be valuable and monetize them even after retirement. So I see a lot of people do these flower making classes, and then when you finish, what do you do with it? Yes, you make flowers for your house, but you have a lot of events happening on the island. Centerpieces are needed, wreaths are needed, Christmas decorations needed. You can even train young people in the community to make these flowers, etc., and charge. So there are so many options available out there for retirees, persons close to retirement, to earn more than their retirement savings when they get to that point.
But there is the issue of persons being put in trouble for their benefits if they realize that these individuals are working and gaining an income.
All right.
What is the
how do
we get around that? Because that is also an issue, because I'm sure that there are a lot of retirees who would like to do things like this, but because of that punishment, they usually hold back. So then,
well, I think NIS is what, $3,000 now. I think if I have the ability to earn more than $3,000, I would definitely risk it. When I say risk it, if I'm earning $5,000, why am I trying to hold on to $3,000? I mean, when you do the maths, it just makes more sense to put yourself out there and to try to be valuable.
Okay, viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue conversations with Miss Crystal Celestine. We're going to talk about the cost for her money-making workshop and other things as well. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various countless styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Every night and day, I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. I want to look it right here. I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. Party with you. When the rhythm pumping up, it's everybody jumping up. We sweating, we sweating. And when the sun is blazing, it's party like we crazy.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, viewers, and we have in the studio with us Crystal Celestin, who's a financial coach, and she's here talking to us about why hard-working people still feel broke, and I think a lot of us can relate to that, and we'll be having a very interesting conversation, and we want to continue. You have a money makeover workshop going on, and the new cohort is starting
in March. Yes.
First Monday in March.
Yes.
And we spoke a little bit about it, but we didn't talk about the cost.
Right.
So just tell us about the cost of the program.
All right. So the cost, it's an investment of $1,050. What you get with that is 4 virtual sessions where I would come and I will talk about general financial literacy, financial education topics, strategies that we use in the industry. And you also get 2 one-on-one personal time with me. So what we do, we take the information that we learned in that session and we make it more real to you. Because as I said, everybody's definition of success and wealth is different. So in that time, we get to sit and, Crystal, this is my reality. This is my situation. This is where I've made mistakes. And then we address them in the one-on-one. So you get 4 virtual sessions and 2 one-on-one personal time with me.
One of the things I wanted to talk about, we were talking off air about persons, no matter how much money they start to make, they still tend to struggle financially, and we were talking about leakages. But one of the things that a lot of persons in society face is this idea of society shaming them for not being able to manage the money. So a lot of times, persons making a lot of money, but a lot of money leaking out, and they don't want to go for help because they feel as though something wrong with them. They should be able to manage this, and because society shames them, oh, you're making so much money, why you can't manage your money? And how do you go around dealing with that kind of psychological reticence persons might have towards seeking out help?
That's pretty normal, actually. Remember, we did not grow up in a system that taught us about managing money. In school, we didn't have much financial literacy programs or anything like that. So to just throw us out in the world of work and to expect us to just be experts at managing our income, that is crazy. And it happens more often than you think. I have clients who are earning $30,000 and up, and they are still living month to month. And it's not big. Well, part of the reason is that they have not put structure in place with their finances. So it's quite normal. And that's why people like me and other financial coaches in this space exist. There are few. I myself have a coach, Coach Alana. I will hail out because that's my friend. we all need people to be accountable to, and I do not pretend to know everything. If you are not an expert in an area, find help. And finding help is one of the smartest things you could possibly do. As a matter of fact, why I got into this is because when I left UE, because I did my bachelor's and master's back to back. So my first job, I was making a lot of money. And I did not know what to do with it. So I was living the life. As a matter of fact, a particular financial institution realized that the kind of money that was going into my account, and they would have said, hey, you could get a loan of a certain $100,000. And I was like, okay, because I mean, you call me and it's money. So as a youth, I was like, okay, let's do this. And I tell you, I took that money and I blew through that money doing all kind of things. And I ended up in a situation where I was now left with this debt that I would now have to pay off. And I didn't think about it until after. And then I was struggling because I know where I used to be spending my money and things I like, now I have this big bill. And I was like, nah, Krista, this ain't it. This is not what Jesus wants for you. So I started to do a lot of research. I started to find help because I was like, listen, we're not doing this. And I ended up in other areas where I was earning income. And I just started chopping down that debt because trust me, when you see that money coming out of your account every month, it is real. And I wasn't paying rent. I had somebody paying for groceries. I was doing really well in terms of managing expenses. It's just that debt had me in a real bind. So that is what really made me get into this area. That and the effects of COVID. Because I was a teacher and I realized too that after the pandemic, a lot of persons were in a real tough spot. And I'm like, but why? Why are so many people suffering, or they don't have the finances to even sustain themselves for 1 month of a shutdown, and you literally out into the desert? I was like, nah, Crystal, you had to do something. So all of that is what propelled this financial coaching.
Now, you spoke about loans and debts, and a lot of times there are a lot of individuals, as you mentioned earlier, there's a conditioning that they grew up with in terms of looking at money. There are persons who look at loans and credit cards and all of these tools as something to stay away from. Can you give a bit of insight into how debt can work for you and how it does not work for you?
I can. So debt is not necessarily bad, right? You have bad debts and you have good debts. Bad debt is, of course, when you borrow and you are not putting it into an asset or anything that's gaining value. Good debt is when I went to school, I had to borrow money to go to school. Nothing is wrong with that, because at the end of the day, my degree allowed me to be in a different income bracket. And I will be in that income bracket for the rest of my life unless I decide to go up and up and up. So borrowing for things that add value is good debt. And let me tell you something. A lot of these business people around Tobago, they do not use their own money to finance their business. They leverage capital from financial institutions. They use that and they invest it into their business. And that's where you see they have stock and they're able to present a big business in the public space. So there is good debt. If the debt is not bringing back any kind of value, then that's a red flag for bad debts. Credit cards are a wonderful financial tool once you know how to use it well. So I travel a lot. One of the main purposes of me having a credit card was to earn points so that my points could pay for my tickets. These people that you see on TikTok flying first class in Emirates and thing, a lot of it is from points, that they are able to redeem from their credit card. So once you understand how to use your credit card, you can use it to your advantage. One of the tips with your credit card, though, you need to know your statement dates, because if you allow the credit to roll over after your statement date, that's when you are charged interest. So let's say your statement date is the 15th and you've cleared your credit card. You've not cleared it, you've swiped your credit card and it's maxed. If you clear your credit card before that date, there's no interest. that you're going to be paying on it. And that's what a lot of people do. They don't clear their card, they just pay the minimum balance. And paying the minimum balance just means you are paying to remain in debt. That is what the minimum balance is. You are paying to remain in debt. So I just want that to sink in, but I said it again. So your credit card can be used for travel points, can be used depending on the type of card you have. You can buy your groceries with points as well. I shop on Amazon a lot with points. I use my credit card to pay a lot of my expenses. So from the time I get my salary, I will then put it on my credit card, swipe, earn points, and try to keep my credit card cleared before my statement date. So you can use it as a tool once you know how to use it.
So you basically use your credit card as a debit card?
Yes.
So in order to gain the points, to utilize the credit card to fund the lifestyle that you want?
Yes. And even though it might not buy me an entire ticket, if it pays 80% of the ticket, that's still a benefit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so in terms of building wealth, you also advise clients on how they could maximize streams of income, or you have do you also do coaching in terms of training persons in particular ways of building wealth?
All right, so again, once I understand what my client defines wealth as, I will try to help them to put systems in place towards achieving that. There are some things that I'm not able to do, so I have a close network of persons that I work with. So for example, like insurance. Insurance is a part of wealth building, right? And I have persons that I will put them on to help them with that area. So I'm very well kind of connected in the financial world. So what I cannot do on my own, I make sure my clients has the resource in order to do that. But again, sitting and understanding what's your version of wealth and generation. Because some persons think about legacy. That's something that's important to them. That mightn't be important to other person. But if generational wealth is something, then there are systems in place for that as well.
All right, Ms. Celestine, we want to thank you very much for coming in and speaking with us. You've given us a lot of eye-opening perspectives on money and how to manage money. And we hope that the new cohort will be filled with 40 and 60 people.
I hope so too. Come on.
Filled with 40 and 60, 100 people for your new cohort starting in the first Monday of March. Viewers, we've been speaking with Crystal Celestine, who's a financial coach, and she gave us some insight into why hardworking people always feel broke. And if you know to yourself you're one of those hardworking people that you always feel like you're struggling and you want it to come to an end, well, I have good news for you. Crystal Celestine's Money Makeover Workshop cohort starts the first Monday of March. You can reach out to her at Crystal Celestine on Facebook and Instagram and sign up for the course. It's only $1,050. Sounds like a great investment to me. Yeah, so be sure to reach out to her and invest in your future. Viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue our conversations, and we're going to have in Pastor Terrence Baines, who's going to be talking about laugh and live. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Every night and day, I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. I want to look it right here. I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. Party with you.
to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
You come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Stephen to see about them. Yeah. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before your ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, morning.
Welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have in studio Mr. Terrence Baines, Pastor Terrence Baines, actually, that is. He's an event host when he's not preaching the word of God or he's not performing on stage himself. And he's here to talk to us about a new venture called Laugh and Live. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Why are you laughing?
Anything is Laugh and Live. Good morning to all these viewers of Tobago Updates. Good morning. Wherever you are locked into the program, it is always a privilege to be here to sit with you guys to discuss whatever is the trending topic at the time. And I'm happy to we actually launched yesterday this Laugh and Live project that we're doing on Good Friday this year.
All right, and tell us exactly what Laugh and Live is about.
Right. Well, you know, over the years, I have always been fascinated by the kind of response, both internationally and locally, that you see in these comedy events. You know, and I had my own uneducated conclusions about it and so on, until I Googled laughter and realized the science of the thing, the positive impact that it has on a human being at a given time in their life, and the myriad of personal experiences that laughter attempts to treat with. And so I had a better appreciation for why people support stuff like that, you know. And to that end, you know, even in my preaching ministry, people have said to me that they find that I am very humorous, although I never really pay any attention to it. My style of delivery perhaps is punctuated by jocular things from time to time. But, you know, I have been really curious about this matter of laughter and what it does for human beings. And particularly now within the Christian context, because some of the things that we have been taught traditionally about Christianity, the realities, some of those realities are very, very, very mind-blowing presently. Some of the things that people deal with, and it seems as if Christianity sometimes can only attempt to treat with one part of the man, you know, primarily the spiritual side of the man. And the other areas of the man that are so critical for his existence are left a begging. His social interface, his emotional interface, and these kinds of things. And I think that this is a critical component, because we do say in the church that when you begin to serve God and so on, it brings joy, and we say things like the joy of the Lord is our strength, you know, but the manifestation of same sometimes is brought into question. And in fact, there are some people who say they're not really coming wrong with church because you all look so sad and boring and dreary kind of thing. So those are some of the things that has been in my mind, notwithstanding that I really think that laughter is, from my scientific research now, is a healthy pastime, you know, and it is something that is needed in the Christian community, you know. So that is the drive behind this particular project, and we see where it goes.
Now, is this just comedy, or is it a blend of different live entertainment?
Well, it primarily is comedy. We just have one vocal act that we add to the thing, you understand? But it's straight stand-up, you understand? You know, the Easter season is one of the most celebrated seasons for the Christian community. And in Tobago, we have had a very healthy and noble tradition of gospel events going back decades. Easter weekend has always been, over the years, Sunfest in the city. We have had that for years and years and years, and in more recent times we have Arise for the last 2 years or so. That has been phenomenal success and continues to grow. Now, Arise takes place on the Easter Saturday and culminates on the Sunday, and I thought that Good Friday, if we could add this laugh festival to the weekend, it is going to boost the whole Christian experience around that weekend and so on. So it did, and hopefully the importance of the activity will resonate with the people.
Now, you're talking about the events. Who are some of the guest artists,
right,
some of the performers, some of the comedians,
right,
person could expect to have
right,
there any night?
Right. Well, I am certainly going to lead the way. You know, it will be like amateur night at the Apollo. So I sent a text to a friend of mine. So she said, you go in and give jokes. I said, yeah, of course. She was like, must see that. You understand? But certainly, I am going to do a piece, and we have Alan Augustine. Alan the entertainer from Trinidad is a young man that has really been doing a lot in the Christian community and so on, and elsewhere as well, and developing his craft. We had another gentleman, Mr. Dave's son. He's a very interesting character, and he's going to be there with us. And our main guest is Mr. Owen Ellis from Jamaica. Now, Owen Ellis, alias Blacker, has been what you can call a quintessential comic in the region, with over 40 years in doing this business in acting, and he's a playwright and just a stand-up comic. And if you have followed comedy in the region, especially coming out of Jamaica, you must have heard of him. You would hear the two names that you would hear from Jamaica is Oliver and Blacker and Bello. You understand? And so on. So, and he is a churchman himself, and we met last year and became very good friends, and he agreed to come and to be a part of this thing. So we anticipate wall-to-wall laughter on the evening. we anticipate that it is going to really bring some relief and some easing of stress and some joy, and to let people kind of breathe. You understand? You can appreciate how stressful life could be. You understand? You can appreciate all the myriad of issues that we contend with on a given day. And then, of course, there are seasons in people's lives, where you just need to take a break, and perhaps just get your mind off some of this stuff, and that helps you to recalibrate. I have found that a lot of times we need certain triggers and certain things to motivate us to address some of the things that we're dealing with. And sometimes in the cycle of the thing, you find yourself in this vortex of life, and things that's going left, right, and center, and you need to just pull aside and have some kind of entertainment for your soul, which is a critical part. And I know sometimes to the minds of a lot of Christian people, entertainment is sometimes a curse word, which is unfortunate, but it is a critical part of the humanness of the man. And I believe that is one of the areas that is lacking in our development. Therefore, we need to, not only comedy, but we need to find other healthy, entertaining events and things that we can engage in, so that we can balance ourselves in this life.
Now, Pastor Baines, we want you to share with the audience date, venue, time, ticket cost, and if seating is limited.
Well, we would like that to be this case, obviously. That would be a good problem to have. Well, of course, the date is April 3rd, which is Good Friday. The beginning of the long Easter weekend. So we're starting out the weekend on a I don't want to say a light note, but on a healthy note. You understand? As the thing say, laugh and live. You understand? And we are going to be, the venue is the Birchwood Legacy Park in Lowlands. That is, if you're going in off the highway to where Wassa is, it is the 2nd Street on your left. That's where we're going to host it. It begins at 7 p.m. And you can get your tickets there, $150 for the tickets. And if you come to the door, you pay $200 at the door. As of this weekend, tickets will be available at our main ticket outlet, is Den's Electronics, here on the 2nd floor at the Port Mall. So you can go there and get your tickets, and of course you can take advantage of the ticket platform if you so. That is fashionable these days. You can go there and get your tickets as well.
Tickets.
Yes. So it promises to be a fantastic event. We have Gabrielle Williams as our single vocalist on the night. You understand? Somebody asked me if I go in and sing. I said, nah, that is not a singing night. You understand? There's a make or break night for my comedy career. Listen, life is dynamic, and we have to, and I must confess and say, somewhere in the back of my mind, I always wondered what that would be like, you understand? So I'm gonna go brave in Jesus' name. You understand? But I think it promises to be a fantastic event. And like I said, and I want to extend the invitation to all of Tobago, wherever you, and a lot of people, especially from Trinidad, who normally visit the island around Easter time for whatever reason. You understand? That is something that they can take advantage of. The Birchwood Legacy Park, excuse me, the area, it's not a very large area, but large enough. And we foresee that there may be some parking challenges, so we are working on a shuttle service as we speak, a shuttle service from the mall, where you can park at the mall if that works out, and then we shuttle you to the event. It's like about 2 minutes away from the mall. So it promises to be a great time, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we want to thank you very much, Pastor Terence Baines, event host. And like I said, when he is not preaching the word of God or singing the word of God or evangelizing in some way, sometimes he likes to host events. He usually hosts concerts, and now he's having venturing off into comedy, and like he said, this is his make or break in his comedy career. So come out, support him, book up the place.
Yes.
And when he tells his jokes, give him a laugh or two.
Yeah. This is a good exit strategy.
Yes. So viewers, we want to thank you very much for joining us on this morning's Tobago Updates morning show. But the programming on Tobago Updates continues after we're done here. We go on over to GMT. So do us a favor. Share the live. GMT is up next.
Committed to excellence, we chart a course, we ahead, achieving our goals. We set a standard at Scarborough Sec, we're committed to excellence.
Our 65-year legacy of success is built on laid by our visionary leaders and educators. We honor the legacies of past principals, past vice principals, and past and present members of staff and our stakeholders. Let us also continue to champion the holistic development of our students, a mission that remains enshrined in our vision statement. To be the premier institution providing learning experiences that produce healthy, critical thinkers and lifelong learners ready for a changing global environment.
65 years is a long, long time. 65 years of nation building. I say nation building because every child entering the corridors of Scarborough Secondary, they are empowered to go out and build, be a part of. So I want to congratulate you on this special occasion.
65 years ago, a seed was planted, and today we stand in this sanctuary not just to look back at history, but to declare a future. As we rise again, and church, that is not just a slogan, it's a mandate. We are reaching into the stratosphere of excellence. Students, the stratosphere is high. It is vast, and is exactly where you belong.
Your theme this morning, We Rise Again, speaks powerfully to the school. It gives us a sober reminder that through change, challenge, and transition, Scarborough Secondary School has continued to rise and renewed in vision and strengthened in resolve. Anchored by its enduring motto, committed to excellence, this institution has remained steadfast in its pursuit of high standards, strong character, and purposeful education.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor, so wake up and tell me neighbor. 60,000 people is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor, so wake up and hail me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Calypsonians organization yesterday released their official results, and Marshall Montano is the 2026 Road March champion with his song Encore, which played 171 times. This is his 12th win, breaking Lord Kitchener's record for the most titles. Voice Can't Behave took second place with 127 plays, while Bungie Roadman came in third with 97 plays. Additionally, Kyra Job captured the 2026 Windward Afro Queen title alongside additional titles of Best Gong Portrayal, People's Choice, and Best Gong, making her the standout winner of the competition. Janea Francis' performance won her second place, Shanique John secured third, while Shanicia Sargent placed fourth. And finally, Nicole Thomas Clark, the reigning Windward Calypso monarch, defended her crown with a formidable performance, securing her second consecutive win as the Windward Calypso monarch with her hard-hitting social commentary, Sacrifice. Additionally, condolences continue to pour in as investigations progress into last week's tragic head-on collision that claimed the life of 29-year-old motorcyclist Shaquille Anthony Shade in Canaan. His sudden passing has sent shockwaves throughout the Mason Hall sporting community. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are going to have a number of conversations, and our first conversation will be talking all about the signature all-inclusive event. But before we get into that conversation, let's have a quick break and I'll see you very soon.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Coming up, fets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Every night and day, I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. I want to look it right here. I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. Party with you. When the rhythm pumping up, it's everybody jumping up. We sweating, we sweating. And when the sun is blazing, it's party like we crazy.
It's a brand new morning. Start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60-ton people strong.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we are chatting this morning all about what has happened for Carnival 2026 and what is still to happen. And we are talking obviously about the National Carnival that has just been hosted over the weekend here in Trinidad and Tobago. But we know that usually after the National Carnival has happened, there's always that period of cooling down, recuperating, and being rejuvenated here on the island of Tobago. And a number of events take place during this time. This morning we are talking about the inclusive event that's happening on the 20th of February. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of chatting with Mr. Marlon Calendar, who is the event host. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am excellent this morning. It's you on that side of the conversation.
It feels strange.
Yes, but tell us a bit about Signature, the all-inclusive event. We know around this time a number of events are happening as persons come to Tobago to cool down with that what we call Carnival, Tobago. And they're looking just for the opportunity to relax, to rejuvenate. Tell us a bit about what Signature is offering.
Well, Signature is offering a red carpet event. This event is a black and gold affair, and I know for sure there are other events in Tobago, but this event is the only event in Tobago that I am hosting. And once I am hosting that event, it's going to be you're guaranteed good time, because Signature event, we're looking for people to come out, dress up nice, come out and enjoy yourselves. We have Richard Trumpet, who's gonna come, nice music for the couples who coming out. We have Emmanuel, who has just came off a really good carnival season. We also have Olatunji, the people who still want to get that energy and that vibes. We have Olatunji, and of course to top it off, Free Tongue Collective. Can't ask better than that.
Excellent. And so when we talk about premium all-inclusive, what can persons expect from this particular event from entry to end?
From beginning as you get in, we have different meals. There's Creole, we have East Indian dish, we have Chinese, we have a dessert station, we have cutters. As you get in, as I told before, it's a red carpet affair. Once you walk in, you get that red carpet. The ambience at Fairways is totally different. I mean, there are other parties, but this one is one that you can, sometimes you just want to just dress up and look nice and go out and have a good time. As you enter Fairways from beginning to the end, it's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy yourselves. And I'm hosting the entire show. So you're going to be getting fun from beginning to end.
Excellent. And when we talk about dressing up, are we talking about formal wear, dinner dresses, sparkles, gold, black? Tell us a bit about what is expected. And, from the cast lineup, it seems that this is what we call a big people party. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, and also we have Adana, not forgetting Adana. And Adana, she can sing any genre of music. Now, the dress code is, we simply telling you, listen, you can dress up nice. You could, if the guys want to put on a jeans and a shirt or a short pants and a slip-ons, these shoes, just look nice, black or gold, black and gold. At the same time, we are not forcing you. If you don't have it, just look nice. If you want to put on your dinner dress and come down, that is okay, because the atmosphere, you're guaranteed you fit into anything that you come in. It's a guarantee.
Excellent. And who does this particular event appeal to? Is it a soca event? Is it an R&B event? What kind of music can persons expect to hear at that particular event? And I see that it is going to be hosted from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So there's a bit of daylight that's involved with this particular event.
That's right. So this event, basically, we catering for every genre of music because we have Richard Trumpet, because, you know, he's the R&B guy. Then we have Imani Ray. She does that upbeat soca, not so fast, not so slow. And then we have Adana. Adana can give you anything. She can do from reggae, she can do dancehall, she can do a little of everything. And then Olatunji is going to take you up to that level that you want to go and raise your hands, raise a flag. And then to taper it right back down, we have Freetown Collective. So you're getting a little of every single thing. You might even get reggae and all, because Adana can sing to any genre of music. So you're getting a little of every single thing. Big people party, dress up, come out nice, look good.
Right, and why is it important for Tobago to have these numbers, this number of diverse activities or events that are happening that appeal to different demographics over this particular weekend?
Because I think, honestly, in Tobago, we have different crowds in Tobago. We have the crowds that they just like to go to the other parties, the ones on the beach, the ones, if they have the little club, the pool parties. And then there's the other side that you want to dress up, you want to look nice, you spend your money, you don't have to walk with no cooler, you don't have to walk with no cash. You just show up, you eat, you drink, you dance, you have a good time, you create memories, you take photos, except when the artist performing, don't put up your phone, all right, take photos, and you just enjoy yourself. So this is the crowd that we are catering for, the crowd that who didn't get to go nowhere for Carnival, and they're saying, what, I wouldn't do the Carnival, I'll just wait and do this event after Carnival, so I could still dress up and look nice, go to my significant other, go to their partner, go to their girlfriend, and just go out and have a really good time at the signature event.
Excellent. And remind our viewers why it's important for them to come out and support the event and where they can get their tickets.
Well, one, the tickets are, right now the tickets between 9 a.m. today and 3 p.m. You can call the hotline. You can call the hotline at 336-4355. All right. And you can get your tickets at $800. If you come at the door tomorrow, it's $1,000. If you have a group of 5, it's $3,500. And like I said, the reasons why they need to be at this event, it's a Black and Gold affair. It's a prestige event. You're getting premium drinks. You're getting different choices of food. All right. I mean, the other parties, some other parties, they give you certain things, but you have choices. You have Creole, you have East Indian, you have Chinese, and there's a dessert station, there's cutters. And as a matter of fact, that carpet will be rolled out for you. And like I said earlier on, the main reason why you have to come to Signature event, because I am hosting this event. And when I come, I give energy, and you guaranteed a good time at this event. Easy as that.
Well, we know that. We know that when we see you, we definitely get the vibe and the energy. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here, and we are talking this morning about the all-inclusive event that's Signature, that's happening this Friday, the 20th of February at the Fairways Restaurant, right? That's tomorrow, just a few hours away. So if you're looking for something fun, entertaining, energizing, a bit sophisticated and all-inclusive event that helps you to really bring down that Carnival high, then this is the event for you to participate in tomorrow. Again, it's happening at the Fairways Restaurant. That is happening from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight. And so you get a bit of daylight time where you can take those lovely photos, come early, get access to all the sunset, all the drinks, you know, get to take those nice pictures with your favorite artists such as Freetown Collective, Princess Adana, Richard Trumpet, and a number of other DJs and cast members. And of course, the man himself, Marlon Calendar, will be hosting. So you already know that you're going to get that epic energy. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we're talking a bit about the National Carnival and some of the activities that has happened here on the island of Tobago. Now, as you may know, there was still Pretty Mass that happened here on Saturday and Sunday. There was the Kiddies Carnival that took place in Scarborough and in Roxborough. And on Monday and Tuesday, there was Pretty Mass that took place right here in Scarborough. Now, this morning, I'm having a conversation with one of the band leaders, Miss Marceline. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to sit and have these discussions around Carnival time with you. Tell us a bit about what the energy was like for this National Carnival. I know that a number of persons are of the opinion that we need to move away from hosting that National Carnival and really hone in and focus on the Tobago Carnival, and that's where a lot of the resources are being placed. Tell us a bit about the energy from the people, the response, the feedback from this National Carnival.
Well, as a band leader for 23 going on 24 years, and as I said, I'm in Mass for a very long time. I don't see getting rid of the National Carnival because it's Trinidad and Tobago. And Tobago people look forward to whatever little that we, the band leaders in Tobago, have to offer. Yes, the atmosphere for this year wasn't what we expected to be, because you have this thing bantering about that why Tobago should have 2 carnivals. You have San Fernando had their problems and they draw Tobago into it, and persons didn't really understand why Tobago having their own carnival. We did not get subvention from NCC. Our subvention comes from the national budget for Tobago, and THA is responsible for all activities in Tobago. So the atmosphere wasn't that good this year.
Okay, did you bring forward a band for the National Carnival? Was it totally separate and apart from what was produced in October?
Well, I had both Juve and senior band, and well, what I did for October Carnival, I brought it back for the National Carnival because of the time frame. And well, the Junior Carnival, I did something new based on Tobago. So yeah, I did everything new. The type of persons were saying they're not hearing anything about the carnival. There was no advertisement. People were saying, well, okay, we don't think we are having a Tobago carnival. So, you know, it's a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend in order for mass to be on the road for the carnival.
Right, and so you had this junior band that portrayed on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday?
Yes, we took part both in the Kiddies Carnival and the traditional. So, you know, you're trying to keep the traditional alive in Tobago. So we ventured to Roxborough, then to Scarborough for both Kiddies and the traditional mass.
Understood. And in order for persons to really come out and support the National Carnival, as you're saying, a lot of persons were unaware that it was still happening. What do you think needs to happen in that sense?
Well, I will say the same emphasis that you are putting in October Carnival, you can put the same emphasis in the National Carnival. And I think October Carnival needs to be changed because you are saying Carnival and people getting the wrong idea of what takes place in National and what takes place in October. We really don't have a competition. Is make your mass and put it out there to sell. That is what October Carnival. October Carnival is just like Point Borough. October Carnival is just like Arima, just like San Fernando.
Right.
It is not like the National Carnival, but it will pull people from all over. The inception where Tobago Carnival had came about was by the late Miss Wilma Bedlow, and she had looked at the wider scope of how to attract tourists to Tobago, and she said, well, here September would have been a nice time to gain tourist attraction in Tobago. And there's what the Tobago Fest, they can come in, but they cannot call it Tobago Fest. So they come up and say, here, let me name it October Carnival. Now, this year, the carnival would not be in October. It will be in November, so what would you call it now? November Carnival?
No, well, they call it the Tobago Carnival. It's called
That is why.
Carnival.
That is why I said they should rename it. Take out the word carnival because it is an event, and name it something different than October Carnival, so people wouldn't have the inception of why Tobago must have 2 carnivals.
Okay, I understand. Tell us a bit about some of the issues that the band leaders have faced. I heard persons indicating that the reason why they were unable to produce is because the subventions were smaller and it came in later. Tell us about that.
Well, I will talk based on my experience. I can't talk for other band leaders. But the subvention that we do get helps. I, of myself, use the subvention that they are given, like to pay off a little bath suits, head molds, because we journey to Trinidad to get these stuff. Feathers are very expensive, so it will help along the way. That will help you to finish my kings, queens, individuals. That is what I use my subvention. The subvention cannot bring a whole band.
Right.
So wherever you might fall short on, the subvention will help pull you out.
Right. So do you think that persons need to move away from the mentality of depending solely on that to produce a band and just see it as a means of assistance for a temporary season?
I think what will help, and I will always say it again, is Tobago people taking part. That will help. Taking part. And instead of them rocking back and saying, oh, the band leaders and them bringing nonsense. If you watch Trinidad Kiddies Carnival compared to Tobago Carnival, we do much better, bring much better quality mass. But they don't see that.
Okay.
They don't see that. They only say, we want Trinidad mass. And when you bring Trinidad mass and you ask them to pay Trinidad money, they're not doing that.
Understood.
They're not doing that.
But so we see a heightened level of participation during the October Carnival. Do you think that there can be a middle ground whereby persons who produce mass in October, that just as you did, and it's not being judged, can bring the same costumes or maybe in the same way but refined a bit for the National Carnival to actually be judged, and therefore increasing the amount of patronage that is in that National Carnival?
It would be nice for that to happen, but you have to ask yourself how much these bands and them that take part in October Carnival are actually Tobago band leaders. I can tell you must be only 5 Tobago band leaders that brings National Carnival take part in October. The rest of them, they are not Tobago based carnival. Some of them are promoters and they decide when the opportunity of a Tobago Carnival come aboard, they jump in. Otherwise, the Tobago band leaders, we are the ones that struggle behind to, to save face.
Right. But, we have bands like the Foggy Angels, we have Iconic Mass, we have, I think, is Zane, and a number of other bands that are Tobago bands that participate in the October Carnival.
As I said, Iconic Mass, I follow Iconic Mass for years. They are more, even though the person is a Tobago person, they're more journey to Trinidad and Carnival time. When you watch them, follow them on Facebook, they have a massive crowd. They would not give that up to come to stay in Tobago for Carnival. To get what? They would not. Fog Angels, he more focus on Crown Point. Once he take his Juve band and bring it for Pretty Mass, did pretty all right, and then after that, what, he never did it again. So they would more venture to Trinidad. Wise, as I said, we Tobago base band leaders will stay and try to keep the Tobago Carnival alive.
Understood. Well, is there anything that you want to say to, Tobagonians and even the policymakers as it pertains to, working to develop that National Carnival that you are saying is necessary to stay alive on the island?
No, I will tell you from experience because, as I said, I'm bringing mass for 23 years. And we do used to get people from Trinidad playing with Tobago bands. We do. And if you're not promoting the Tobago Carnival for National Carnival, the National Carnival itself, you're killing it. It's just like heritage that going down the drain. They're not putting the emphasis on what Tobago has to offer. And the chairman of the Tobago band leaders does say, we have a uniqueness, Tobago has a uniqueness, and we would like to bring that uniqueness to people from Trinidad to see, well, hey, yeah, this is what Tobago have, and I enjoy playing mass in Tobago for the carnival. Not only saying let church people come to Tobago and camp in Tobago. It shouldn't be. Give us that push. We had Pretty Mass, Banadi Day on a Monday, whilst we having traditional on a Monday. We journey to Roxborough on a Monday, give Roxborough its space. And since this administration came in, and I'm saying it, they killed everything. You take Juve from Scarborough. You had people used to say, well, hey, I don't want to go Crown Point. I will stay in town. We said about 100 persons coming and watch us. And tell you the truth, Scarborough had more participation in the Juve.
Are you talking about the National Juve?
The National Juve.
We saw a huge number, a huge turnout for the Crown Point Juve this time around, and also the Roxborough Juve. And, you know, persons are saying that this diversification helps to ignite the economic activities within different areas on the island. So you have in that October season, you have Scarborough being the mainstay, and in the National Carnival, you have that diversification where there's the East that's getting a piece of the pie, and there's the West by means of Crown Point and all the activities that happen there. And then when you look at the persons that patronize that Crown Point Juve, you see a totally different demographic. You see a lot of foreigners there as well. And I think that, you know, from what I saw, viewing that Crown Point Juve, it was quite successful.
Quite successful with people just going on their line. The only reason it started to die, you was hardly having bands. Let me tell you something. You had mass band leaders taking part in both Crown Point, Scarborough, and Roxborough. And then because of one particular band, it started to dwindle. So what they decided this year here was, we're not going to give Scarborough no Juve. We will give bands the opportunity to go to Crown Point. I normally don't go Roxborough for Juve. I stays in Scarborough. So this year, I went and gave Roxborough that push. I'm saying it all plain. I do not like Crown Point because I watch the ins and outs of Crown Point, so I do not like Crown Point. Plain and simple. I do not take part in Cuddler Hall because whilst Cuddler Hall Juve is taking place, I'm getting myself prepared to be on the road. Right. So Cuddler Hall would not get my support. But my masqueraders, they do go and take part in the Crown Point because Lisa Wall, which is my sister, she does her little jab. So she will go and venture into Crown Point. She takes part in Crown Point, Scarborough, and Roxborough Juve. Everybody getting a piece of the pie. So why try to throw Crown Point down my throat to go down to Crown Point? That is what they did this year. Remember, Crown Point was private. We had encouraged bands from Crown Point to take part in Scarborough also, which some of them did, and it was successful.
Yeah, but do you think that around that particular time, which also competes with the National Carnival, where there's things happening in South and in Arima and in Tunapuna, in Port of Spain, everywhere that Tobago can sustain 3 Juves happening at one time?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's being done in Trinidad, just as how you have Pretty Mass. Pretty Mass don't only go to Port of Spain, you know. They go to San Fernando, they go to Arima, they touch every competition on competition day. Same thing with the juniors in Trinidad. They go to all, you have more than one competition on a Saturday, and they hit all 3 competitions. I can tell you, I have family who does it in Trinidad, makes mass in Trinidad. They even invited me, but I had choose to stay to Tobago because this is where I get my carnival roots.
All right, understood. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning and always giving us that post and pre-carnival conversation as one of the band leaders that are affected by the festival, whether it be at the national level or at the Tobago Carnival level. As we round off our discussion this morning, is there anything that you want to say to our viewers looking on?
Yes, I have a lot to say, but time is too short to say that, so I'm just gonna put it in a nutshell. Carnival is being killed in Tobago by the wrong mindset, and I would say it started by one chairman kill the whole thing because they figured they know it all, and then they are pointing fingers at the mass fraternity, which we have nothing to do with that. We just have to go along and try to see what best we can do with it. Carnival has been run with 7-point-something million and it was a success. Mass, Calypso and Pan enjoyed what we was getting from the $7 million, and lo and behold, I saying new administration coming and they're just doing what they want. And I just saying, please, we could get it right. The two carnival could coexist together. But for me, I am hanging up my mass boots. I've had enough. It's too strenuous. I have encouraged persons to take part in Carnival, which they have done. And I'm telling them now here, Maslin and Associates, I've had it. I can't go on no more. So I'm encouraging them to still stay on board. Putting together a little project with some other persons, and once that project come off the ground, they will be seeing Maslin and Associates in a brand new light. But I will still push for the juniors because the juniors are the future of tomorrow.
Excellent. Well, we want to take a quick break right here and we'll be back with much more conversation on Carnival, the National Carnival, that is 2026. See you soon.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning.
Every night and day, I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. I want to look it right here. I want to wave, I want to wine, I want to party with you. Party with you. Party with you. When the rhythm pumping up, it's everybody jumping up. We sweating, we sweating. And when the sun is blazing, it's party like we crazy.
Coming up, fets, pan, parades, soca. Yes, Carnival is in full swing. Artists from all over added their strokes to Antigua and Barbuda's canvas. A boost for these Barbadian projects through the power to make a difference. Equal servings of culture and good cheer. It's Caribbean Passport TV right here on this station.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Yeah. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we continue our conversations as it pertains to the National Carnival. And we are having this conversation this morning with Avin Gordon, who is a costume designer. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So tell us a bit about the experience that you would have had for this year's National Carnival.
Okay, so this carnival, what I did, I had to do designing for two bands in specific. One being Tie-Dye City and Element and Associates. One is Kids Band, right? So I did the mass production of the players' costumes also with their kings and queens and individual pieces.
Right.
So that was my partake for this carnival.
Okay. Were you also one of the designers for the Tobago Carnival? And can you tell us a bit about the contrast between the National Carnival, the support and the engagement compared to the Tobago Carnival?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? You are unable to hear me.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you.
Right, I said, were you also participating in the Tobago Carnival? And can you tell us a bit about the contrast between the engagement for the National Carnival that happened over the weekend and the Tobago Carnival?
Okay, well, my interest this year was basically on the kids, right? And not necessarily the adults. The kids, they have a different concept as to where Carnival in Tobago comes to be. Interest is more there as opposed to the adults, right? So the experiences there was much better than years before. The interest of the parents and the schools also were, more interested, more fun. Parents come out to help prepare for the costumes on the day also. So that's what I can say about this carnival.
Right, and we heard from the Secretary for Tourism indicating that, in creating a difference between the two festivals, the National Carnival and the Tobago Carnival, during the National Carnival, there's a greater focus on things like Pan, Calypso, and Kiddies Carnival. So do you think that there's avenues to really help grow and develop the Kiddies Carnival sector, particularly on the island during the National Carnival?
Of course. This could as an extra co-curricular activity for children in school to prepare for mass production in National Carnival. I'll talk about National first, right? And with this aspect, they could have like the schools could produce their own stuff, market it to the students within the schools and also the communities, because most of the schools in Tobago are based in communities. So the children who may not be interested in the, books and stuff, because let me just draw a reference to a school that I did before. I had a class where every Friday, and most of the children were trouble children in schools, and they were most calm and more interested in producing mass, if it's traditional or if it's contemporary mass, right? So I see that it can have a big avenue where mass production on the traditional level, also educational level. Even if they know you have people from across the world may not want to partake in plain mass, but at least they could come to Tobago, go to the schools, visit to see what production of mass is, have an education as to what the production would be about, and they come out and see the presentation on the day. So I honestly think the kids are basing it on the kids and traditional mass in National Carnival is very important. And you can now extend it to October Carnival, where the same presentation, they could come back and present it for Carnival and for Tobago Carnival on Saturday morning before Pretty Mass come out. And then we just recycle it in the year before. They do new costumes in February, and October, the kids get to portray them for October Carnival, earlier in the day.
Understood. I like the fact that you spoke about that and, you know, bridging the gap between culture and education and creating an avenue for that creative expression for kids and giving them the opportunity to showcase their talent during the National Carnival. And so tell us a bit about what that would look like in your mind. How do you envision that being incorporated into the curriculum? You said that you you usually go to a particular school and teach them mass production. How does that work? Is it that it happens after school, during the school day? Tell us a bit about that. Is it during the periods of like creative arts? Tell us about
it. Okay, well, I wouldn't include the beginning of the year, knowing that there's a National Carnival happens. And then there's SEA for the private school children, and then there's TXT coming for the secondary school.
Right.
So, like, the beginning of, let me say, August, started like an August holiday vacation kind of step-in, mass production, and step into schools, continue when school begins, when they start producing these costumes for February Carnival. Right, the extracurricular activities are the parents or who might be interested in having their child take part in this. We have the the class come together, and I usually will let the children come up with an idea of their choice, right? And we have the materials ready, and they would make the thing. I would usually guide them through, show them what to do, they hands-on, and so
I understand. So the way that you are proposing is just like any other co-curricular activities, like football, netball, basketball, swimming, public speaking, Scrabble, that type of extracurricular activity.
Exactly.
So would it mean that parents would have to pay a small fee for the classes to ensure that they have the equipment and the tools that they need?
Well, once the program have started, right? Well, the program that I used to do before was with I think it was the Republic Bank. So they used to finance everything. I present to them a quote on the material that we need, and usually the National Carnival Band Leaders Association back then they would have a roster or a layout of how the program will run, and they would usually supply the material. So parents wouldn't really have to put anything towards getting the material, right? But if in a situation like this where the parents might be interested to have that funding from somewhere, and the parents or the school is interested, where we need to find some ways and means of kind of getting that capital to get the wires and the materials to start at least the prototypes. And as the prototypes start and people in the community or the schools realize that this is taking place, they actually little down payments and so on to start with the mass production with buying materials to provide the whole bandwidth stuff. And I am the type of person, I like to create something out of something. So I wouldn't just challenge the children to just bring in material and we just create something. Now we're making something out of something. If it's wire, if it's paper mache, it have all different avenues,
Understood. And finally, if this program is to be, increased or blown up to include a number of different schools, or even having a pilot with just a few schools that are chosen from different areas within the island, do you think that there are other costume designers who have the capacity to come on board with you and be a part of that project and, successfully get young students excited about the traditional culture of mass production on the island again?
Yes, there is, especially with the teenagers. For October, the Miss World delegate from Tobago, I had the privilege to be a part of that program with Sharon Phillips. And the interest of the teenagers, when it was time for them to do wire bending or see what the wire bending entailed, they were more than interested. They wanted to know if I could make a bra out of thing, and they didn't know it was so simple. You know, what to make a backpack wasn't so simple. They didn't know it was so simple, you know. So I think it would, you know, it have band leaders that, yes, interested, that have the capability of leading these bands. So there's a lot of them, including one, Kyle. I think he's from Mountain George. He's a terrific band leader. He's very calm with children. You know, so it have a lot of band leaders. Some of the band leaders here that have the patience and have the talent, have the you know, to really move these children forward.
Understood. Well, that sounds very good, and I think that it's an excellent idea, you know, to submit the proposal and have it actually done as possibly a part of the Tobago-centric curriculum that we've heard from the Division of Education. Unfortunately, this is where we end off the morning show program this morning. Is there anything that you want to say to our audience before we close?
We Tobagonians need to support the children. We need to support the children more. The adults can probably October, that kind of crazy, the kind of wildness, right? Which is nice and everything, but I find passion in moving the kids forward with mass in Tobago, because they are very talented children out there, and that designing skill that they have inside of them, we have to pull it out. We have to pull it and push it out there.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing more from you on, you know, this school-based mass production project. And I hope that it definitely gets off the ground in a number of schools, not just, you know, a few of them.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. So again, Avin, we want to thank you for being here this morning, and congratulations for all the excellent work that you have done, you know, assisting bands during this national carnival. I hope to also stay very active during the Tobago Carnival that's happening later on in the year. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.